time for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. I just want to say right quick, a little breaking news, so to speak. This is a special edition of the Shop Report. We are here to talk about the NFL Collusion Gate Part 2. I didn't see Part 1, but we're here to talk about Part 2. Anywho, that being said, joining me on the P-Rogram today is my cat from across the way, Joy James, a.k.a. Double J. Tell the people what you say.
Let's do it.
Do what? Do what? They can't see. Oh, man. This was, bruh, this is why I'm retiring, bruh. Y'all can have this because every time we do this, y'all don't never show up. You know what I'm saying? But let's do it. Anyway, and on the other side of the ledger, we got D Gully from the CO Lum Bus. I'm glad you could join us. What it do?
Hey, man, I'm on the road, man. So I'm safely driving with my earpiece in my ear so that way you guys can hear me. Hands at 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. But ready to drive right through this thing.
About the headsets earlier.
Oh, now you want to talk? Now you want to talk? I don't understand what is going on here. Now we over talking, everybody talking at once. Oh my God. Anywho, as I said, we're here to talk about the NFL Collusion Gate Part 2. I did not even know there was a Part 1. Goes to show.
Well, yeah, I studied the wrong test then because I had time in my travels to fully digest Part 1.
Okay, so, but why you interrupt me though?
Because I just want to let you know that I studied.
Well, listen. Anyway, okay. In addition to that, I want to give a shout out to the people, those who tune in and those who follow and support us. Please, I want to give a salute because for real, man, without you, there is no us. We don't do this unless you all give us a reason to give it to you or bring it to you. All right. So again, shout out. Double J, if you would, I got to give you credit because when Deshaun Watson signed with the Browns, or it was talk about him signing with the Browns, from a talent standpoint, I don't recall anybody, and we're going to kind of go back to the beginning of the timeline, right? Because Double J, if I'm not mistaken, Deshaun Watson is like the low-bearing wall or the catalyst or the key to the cars when it comes to all of this, with this fallout now, so to speak, right?
Only the first portion of it. The collusion that has to do with the owners, this is separate from the NFLPA.
Wait. Back there. Say that again now. What?
Again, this is the collusion that we're referring to again in Part 1 is between the owners and not the second portion, which has to do with the NFLPA and members of the NFLPA and their interests.
Okay. So that's why it's a Part 2, obviously.
Correct.
Okay, got you. So let's go back to the kind of beginning of this time. But in other words, Deshaun Watson is a central figure in all of this, though, on the timeline.
Sure. As it pertains to Part 1. Correct. Absolutely.
Okay.
He would be the smoking gun.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, shout out to that. Right? I was showing up at a loss for words. So, but given him signing and what he signed, just give us a brief summation of why it was so much contentiousness amongst NFL owners after Haslam signed him to that.
Correct. So again, as those that are familiar with the sports landscape and even those that just simply play Madden have understood the rules and restrictions within the contracts and staying within the salary cap, in short.
Right.
What they did with Deshaun's deal was not only paid him a heavy bonus up front, but then additionally they guaranteed 100% of that deal. What made
so
that?
that was the first time. That was the first time I could recall something like that happening for an NFL player, given the nature of the sport. Go ahead.
Correct. Usually, and I'll point to Lamar Jackson. There was $750,000 for him to fully attend. I believe it was OTAs in his deal, which would actually get signed after Deshaun. So that's actually relevant and pertinent. But just so people kind of understand some of the nuances, that when I say 100% guaranteed, that means he doesn't have to jump through any kind of hoops, even if it's simply just putting his pants on, facing the right direction 1 day a week. And so what that also means for the team is they have to make those assets available and put that money in escrow the moment pen hits paper.
Okay.
That is, again, a little bit unique for those. I used this example before, but I'm going to remind everybody, because many have watched that series, which is the Ocean's movies. The reason they decided to hit the Bellagio that day was because it was a fight night and they're required by law to have the cash on hand.
Ah, okay.
So,
Yeah. Right.
by having
Great
all of
movie,
that
by the way.
cash there, right? So in this case, you saw what happened to Benedict, although he had insurance, right? So in this case, if you take all of that liquid assets and you put it in escrow, that means it's clearly not available. You cannot leverage it even.
Okay, so hold up though. But who's holding this money? Like, who's this 200? That 230 million got to be there in order for you to be able to pull off what you can pull it off.
Correct, because you can't.
And
go
who's
and
holding on to that 230 million? Whose name is Haslam?
Bank.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay,
When it's put in an escrow account, there's an arbiter, essentially a
but
mediator.
But whose 230 million is it for it to be put in escrow?
Oh, it's Haslam's. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Keep going. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You talking about? Go ahead. Keep going. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, right, but again, through the team, right? It's not. So I want to make something very clear: the teams are self-sufficient. They operate with this is not, hey, Jimmy, can we borrow money? Because Jimmy would say, well, no, even though you're under my many umbrellas, you are still, we would have to negotiate a deal ourselves as me, Jimmy, the person, going to give this money to the team. That is not how it works. The Cleveland Browns, in this case, had the $230 million. They put it in escrow, not Jimmy and D Haslam.
Which again begs the question, on a little side note, but just kind of correlates with all of this. Why I don't understand why owners of these NFL teams in particular, professional sports franchises, period, why they ask more of the people in terms of dollars and cents. You understand? The whole deal with the 600 million, that Haslam's was asking for to help build this or whatever it is. You mean y'all don't got enough monies from us already for paying for parking? That just draws my eye every time. And then here's another thing from Cleveland.com right quick on that. Without the county's involvement, the team, the Browns, said earlier this week it would have to spend an additional $300 million to cover the gap, bumping its investment from $1.2 billion to $1.5 billion. Oh, well, tough cookies. Hey, didn't Haslam just, when he got to 600 million, didn't he just go buy $25 million house, mansion? But they want me to, I read this now. I'm supposed to, as a fan, I'm supposed to feel what? I'm supposed to go cry me a river. Anyway, go ahead, Double J.
Yeah, just for context here, the Watson deal was what, $258 million?
Yeah, I believe.
Just so everybody understands, $300 million go to each team annually.
Whoa. Back that up. Say that again.
$300 million goes to each team every year per this rev share deal with the TV and media rights. If you remember, on this very program, I had said if I was DeMaurice Smith or whoever is in charge of the NFLPA, I would have said, we're not signing anything, and I'll go cook everybody hot dogs until this deal is done, which was their deal, which is the media rights deal. You may remember that about 4 years ago. I had said, why would they sign a CBA when the media rights deal is not done yet.
But a lot of that, well, I don't say a lot of that, but sometimes the players don't know enough, and that's on them to be able to say, even though I may be on the lower end, I'm still, the deal is still better
you
for
tell
me.
me which NFL owners
in the
broke.
long. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
what I'm
we're
trying
not
to say.
arguing apples to apples, right? That's what I'm saying. Yes, the player that is the 7th round pick, right? At one point, Johnny Knox, I remember, was on. I'm almost positive it was Johnny Knox took the bus to the preseason games when he was on the Bears.
I heard. Yeah. Vaguely, I'm with you on that.
So
Yeah.
again, him versus say like KJ, who's like, okay, you drive my car and I'm going with Matt, and you know what I mean. Like it's a very different set of circumstances when it's like, well, sorry, family, nobody's going. I can barely get there myself, and I'm the one on the roster. So,
but Double J, here's the thing too, though. When you have the guy who's the head of the NFLPA, right? But he's like a lot of supervisors at the lower levels do when in unions or the union reps or whatever it is, they side with management. So if DeMaris was DeMaris, it would have been in the best interest of them to sign a better deal. You know what I mean? What you're saying here for the players, like, no, we ain't signing that. But DeMaris coerced them, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Using the lack of knowledge that most of them probably had. Like, nah, this might be a good deal. No, man, it's like a public pretender. Gonna take the deal, son. But if you had a paid attorney, if you could afford one, you find out that, oh, you wouldn't even got probation. You get what I'm trying to say? So no. So if he was colluding. We talked about this 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Suggested that yes, there was
DeMaris we was playing both sides. I mean, he's he was 017.
Now I will just like, for the record, we don't have any legitimate evidence of that. It's just highly suggestive. And
okay.
So,
put the disclaimer on it. Yeah, right. Yeah, check the tape though.
However, in the circumstances surrounding this part one, which is Watson's deal and the ripple effect from it, right? That's where the memo went out and the communication began, and it started from the brass that are overseeing the league, which is, Roger Goodell, right?
Right.
And the concept of that was, hey, even though the entirety duration of his deal is a little over 3/4 of just the television revenue alone for your franchise for one single year.
Yeah.
Wink. This puts us in a very vulnerable spot if this becomes a trend. And I'm paraphrasing. But that was the essence. And so what you started to see was additional deals that would get done that would soon follow, right? I brought up Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray was another, Justin Herbert was another. Let
me ask you a question though, right quick. And we talked about this last Thursday. Is what Caleb Williams was trying to do in terms of having his monies in LLC and such, is that born from this?
No, it more so has to do with him looking at it as a business, right?
Okay.
And as a business owner and saying, wait a minute, my brand is my business, which is, again, that's no longer for debate because of what we have now with NIL.
Yeah, for sure.
And
so you don't think he was looking at all this, the whole Watson and Lamar and all of that, and said, and just had the idea, let me do this. Okay, the two really not connected.
No, not. It's more so it wouldn't have been birthed from it. If anything, he would have at least suggested, okay, if I can't get this fully guaranteed, how can I save money? Right? Because again, you're looking at $40 million of taxes, essentially.
Yeah.
I'll give an example. There was I want to say a period of time a couple of years ago where a famous celebrity was said to owe about, I think it was like $100 million, and they bought a plane, like a 747 plane.
So now it becomes a write-off?
Correct. and so it was like you were going to either burn it, or you could get something for it that would be beneficial.
Got you.
And so that's kind of more along the lines what Caleb Williams was kind of thinking there.
Okay, got you. Gully, what are your thoughts on all of this so far?
Yeah, it's it's very complicated and convoluted, and usually I've never seen, unless I'm playing a video game for the purpose of my entertainment, something being purposely more convoluted for the benefit of those involved. The idea of, well, I'm just looking at, like I said, the first part, right?
Yeah, got you.
The idea of having a player president, and then another figure and another figure coming to or being voted by a group that's not fully advised of said person's credentials before they take a vote, and then the expediency in which they get hired for moves to be made, and then the idea that you have a player president that's throwing shade at a player for signing a deal when you already have on the other end hired another executive to another committee that they don't know about. A whole lot of this doesn't sound like this is just for the purpose of keeping things clear, so that way, the players can just stick to playing football, such as like to ease their focus, right? This is like, we need to put these parts in play so that way this doesn't get out of our hands and out of our control. And that's exactly what's happening here. It's just the fact that we see it in the NFL. We see it it's like this, man. We do a wrestling show, Double J and I. We see this play out with the corporation. We've seen it play out in jest almost. But that's exactly how all of this is run. And it's just kind of obvious, but I'm actually kind of tragically entertained by the levels at which these pulls and these strings are pulled and are guided. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just want to see more of it to see how deep this thing goes.
Yeah, well, it's how deep it goes. How about let's rephrase that statement there, so to speak. How far back it goes.
Sure,
why
yes.
do you all think I keep referencing the book The League, written by John Eisenberg? This may be a bad parable, but it's almost like cancer. Once it starts, it gets to a stage where it's where you can't do nothing about it. It's just par for the course, for lack of a better word or term. You read that book, some of the elements and things that we see now in terms of the unscrupulousness it started in 1920 with Hallis and all of them guys, man. Now they had an honest idea. Hallis, his heart was in it and whatnot. But in order for the NFL to be what it has become, you go and look at its origins. That book is a good place to start about its origins. It was this close to not making it on the organic authenticity aspect of it. That's how it started. But college football was king back then in the late early 1900s when the NFL kind of, that inception. Yeah. So that book tell you what they had to do in order for it to become what it is now. And trust and believe. It's the reason why what they call a Lady Justice, why she blindfolded. I'm just saying. But Double J, at the end of the day, there was a fan here in Cleveland when Deshaun signed that contract. And I won't say what he said verbatim, but it was clear, bro, because it was other people. He got thousands of responses on it. It was like, man, they shouldn't have never gave that. What Dave Chappelle said, they shouldn't have never given money. And a lot of folks thought that was the same mindset of some NFL ownership. Like, man, what did they do? And while Lamar got sort of, a little extra time on before he actually signed his deal. It was a little bit, and like some owners was like, hey, man, why the have them do that? Why he do that?
Yeah. So, I mean, again, in context here, every quarterback since has gotten more money than Watson, at least in total. but it's again, the difference here is not fully guaranteed. So even Joe Burrow's 275 million, only 219 of that is guaranteed. So close, but not. Now,
Okay.
that's not to say that he's not capable of getting. We don't know what the additional terms are to it.
That's
But
what I'm trying to say.
again,
That extra
the
money
memo,
you have to earn, like, like how many games he play or how many interceptions he don't throw, things of that nature.
correct. So again,
Okay.
Kyler Murray, on the other hand, only half of his was guaranteed.
How much was his?
230.
Okay. Oh,
Russell
gotcha.
Wilson was 245, Jalen Hurts 255, and Joe Burrow 275. And then Lamar was somewhere right around that range as well the first time. And it sounds like he's getting ready to sign an extension himself.
Okay. Yeah. So Lamar getting paid then. Okay. Okay. Then move us forward a little bit. All right. So we here on the timeline.
Yep. So again, basically, what the league insiders were attempting to do was that basically say, okay, what we did with Watson was an outlier. Let's get back to Let's get back to normal. And so I thought that verbiage in general terminology is rather interesting, because what that already indicates to me is that, well, what do we deem normal? Who set that as the norm?
Yeah, right.
So
right.
again, to your book, no different than when they met in front of that dealership or whatever it was in that lot there in Ohio.
Yeah.
And didn't somebody own that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just reminding everybody. All right.
Yeah.
So now you fast forward a little bit. If you remember, the running backs all of a sudden started to carry the load again.
Right.
Okay. Obviously, the ebbs and flows of the league. And what we saw, Daniel Jones was a great example of that. You took Saquon Barkley out, look at the numbers, you put Saquon Barkley in, and you look at the numbers. And again, it was a tale of two very different stories.
And then don't forget Derrick Henry.
Correct. And so a lot of players, and this is where we're going to get into the part two. A lot of players were wanting to, in some ways, in lack of other terms, hold out to some extent to get the deals done. There was Saquon on record in an interview, and I believe that was used in Pablo Torre's speaking on to the New York media at the time, saying like, "Look, this isn't who I am."
And by the way, if you got to watch the whole thing, but you cannot do it all. You can't be in one fell swoop. You're gonna have to. It's so many nuggets in it from the beginning to the end. A 55-minute video, and I still haven't gotten through all of it. You understand what I'm saying? And I've been watching it for like the last 2 or 3 days. So
yeah, it takes some. Yeah, you got to digest.
You got to dissect it, because once they started, him and Florio started off with the exchange between Spanos and Bidwell.
Mm-hmm.
That was like within the first 4 minutes. I was like, whoa, that's what they're doing. So I had to go get a pen and pad. It's been a long time since I done had a moment when I'm watching something sports related and I done had to grab a pen and pad, bro. I was like, okay, yeah. And I've been dissecting for the last couple of days. But go ahead. I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
Yeah. And so, again, taking it a step further with these said individuals, you get a podcast that takes place with a former athlete and what was then the NFLPA, a member of the NFLPA, former Browns player, right? JC. And he basically kind of hints at faking an injury. And he goes, well, I'd never say to do that. And I'm paraphrasing. I'd never say to do that publicly. And it was like, bruh, right away.
You just said
it without saying it. And then you went and put an exclamation next to it and bold and underlined with the weird way you just added that part of it.
Well, Cleveland sports folks here recently had a good teacher in how to be being cryptic. I'm just saying, go ahead.
So what this ends up leading to is an arbitration between the NFLPA and the NFL. Now, historically, when the two do go head to head in court together, you typically have an idea of who won based on how they handle it,
Right.
either publicly or privately for that matter.
Right.
So what was somewhat understood, or at least interpreted by members of the media when they asked, well, how did it go? What ended up happening? Was the NFLPA saying, well, we never said to do that. And we continue to say, we'd never do that. So it sounded like they had won, but it turned out, based on the leaked document, that they did
didn't.
not. That the arbiter in this case agreed with the NFL that there was potentially, even though that sounds like a baseless claim, that there may have not been anything there to back that up or support it. That apparently was enough. My assumption is it was literally them playing the podcast live.
Wow. Yeah, buddy. Yeah,
so where this becomes a even bigger deal is you start learning who these additional players are that are involved with the NFLPA itself. One of which, of course, is JC. The other is an individual by the name of Lloyd, who was a part of a very big scandal that was, in the finance world, that I'll just leave that. You guys could Google that on your own. But we've heard the rumblings for years, and you've heard my personal stance on it, but private equity was trying to get into professional sports.
Yeah.
At least trying to, but they needed someone to plant the seed.
That's what this was.
Somebody on the inside. Gully knows this very well because I walked him through an hour's worth of how to have a unhostile takeover.
And see, that's what you said there brings to mind something else. Like, if you're the NFL players, why would you? And I don't know. Did Lloyd ever play in the NFL? I to my knowledge, no. What about DeMaurice Smith? To my knowledge, no. So why am I asking a mechanic to represent the postal workers union?
Well, they're supposed to be the law arm, right? And at least
no former player has taken law or did.
Well, no, but that's where JC was. Insert JC and some of these additional players.
But I thought he hadn't yet, or was on his way to taking Lloyd's spot.
No, they were up there together. But there was what I'm assuming. I can't substantially say with certainty.
That's fair.
But what it feels like.
Let me tell you something, though. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you putting that out there like that. But if it walked like a duck and it quacked like a duck, it's not a giraffe.
Well, let's say this. If I was a young prosecutor, if I was a young attorney general, I would probably look at what we're seeing as well and say, I think there's enough smoke. I think there's a fire.
Put the cuffs on him, huh?
Well, at least certainly want to learn more details.
Yeah, because there's something there. There's more than enough there. You know what I mean? And when's the last time you seen Pablo or Florio put their name on something that's going to get them kicked out the door? Oh, you know what I'm trying to say? Come on, man. I mean, come on, bro. Come on. Once I seen them two cats was at the helm, was driving the bus, I said, oh, yeah, let me get a ride.
But what I want to point out is that it was just, I hate using this example because it's,
well, you got to use it.
It might be too out there. But a long time ago, I remember that there was a dude that supposedly had breakfast every day at this building. Okay, I'm just going to give this as a story, and you can fill in the blanks.
Okay.
And then coincidentally, the day that the building fell, he wasn't there.
Oh,
he decided to be at home that day.
Oh,
so
wow.
Where I'm going with that is, hypothetically, JC happened to allow some of these other players in the league to make the final decision on who to hire Lloyd.
Hold that thought. We're going to come back. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to finish that. And then we're going to get into part 2 of the NFL collusion and some things that were said by some folks that I know in particular, and some folks that y'all know that we all know that I don't know personally. You get what I'm saying? I'll let you, boy. We'll be right back. Don't touch it. Don't you touch it.
I'm Jordan Gudeman, and I'm the founder and CEO of Eddie G's Cookies. I was first diagnosed with a nut allergy when I was young. At the time, there weren't a lot of labeled items that said if there may contain nuts or there are nuts in the food, so my brother and sister and I baked a lot at home, and we enjoyed treats from mixes and things like that, but I noticed that it was not the same as what my friends were enjoying, and I started making my own recipes. When it was time to pick a career, I decided to start a bakery so I could share my treats with everybody else. When I started creating my recipe, I was taking in all the things that I thought I was missing out on. A soft, chewy center, a crisp outside crust, and a taste that is just like it came out of the oven at a bakery. When I put all those things together, I had come up with a recipe for a dream cookie. Eddie G's Cookies only uses the finest ingredients. We have all natural flavorings, no preservatives, and every cookie is made in a nut-free environment. The best part about Eddie G's Cookies is that they can be delivered right to your door. You can share them or not. We won't tell.
That's right. Get your Eddie G's Cookies at eddiegscookies.com at Amazon. You understand, man? And I still want mine while we playing. Hey, I've been waiting on a box for about 5 months now. What's up with that? All right, Double J. We are back. Would you like to continue? And then we're gonna get into some of this part 2, man, because I think part 2 is really,
and that's where I'm trying to move this along to, basically. And so again, just to kind of summarize part 1, after Deshaun's deal, it puts the NFL teams themselves in a very vulnerable place, as it has to do with the liquid cash, essentially. And basically they said, let's try not to do that. And you have different messages from different owners and subordinates that are celebrating getting deals done that would meet that criteria.
As far as part 2, here we are now. I was going to kind of try to save this because there were some other things I wanted to say, and I'll still mention those things, kind of like structure or whatnot, but I'm going to throw it out here now. In regards to all of what has transpired so far, I talked to an NFL person. Okay. We know a few here. All right. And I asked him, I said, man, what are your thoughts on all of what you've heard so far? And he said, ain't nothing going to happen. The brutality and product on the field will trump anything.
See, I don't necessarily agree, because I don't believe we had anything this egregious in the past, right? This is borderline treasonous within, that could lead to a general mutiny within the league, right? That we have.
But how many other things in sports that we found egregious went away once the finals started? You get what I'm trying to say? Or once the flash bulbs at the Super Bowl went off, or once the flash bulbs at the college football playoff national championship went off.
Well, sure. I mean, the problem here is the CBA itself, right? This is why you can't say, oh, we're going to go and sue the NFL because of this. If it turns out they colluded together, yes, you can, an arbitrator could go and look at that and then rule in favor of the NFLPA. What they give them for that, that's up to them. But as far as beyond that, this is why the bigger deal is the part 2, because now it may completely change what happens from here moving forward. And I'm going to say it in the sense of what we wanted to see changed 4 to 6 years ago. I believe that door is actually now open, because it got so bad, but we were on the cusp of, in my opinion, seeing multiple private equity groups.
But what name one of the changes, or two of the changes, or three of the changes that we wanted to see?
Well, first of all,
That
look,
this is
you had
over
one
for.
individual. You had one rogue individual, potentially, hypothetically,
Okay.
possibly,
Okay.
that stayed an arm's length away, and he was the puppet master that said that colluded with another individual / group to say, hey, you help us get in here over enough time, we'll work our magic, and then it will lead to the ultimate goal of an equity share or stake in this entity. And this entity could be any one of the NFL franchises, even though it's a non-voter stake. So that was you actually see discussions.
Is that normal?
Occurring.
That's not normal. That's normal. What you mean?
Typically, it's normal if you're in the minority like that most of the time.
Okay.
But because the NFL, like with the Irsay family, there's 3 owners now. But the NFL has a rule. Somebody has to be at least own, I think it's like 34%.
Okay.
So
you mean one person?
Yeah, one person has to be the face essentially for the team.
I got you.
And
majority, so to speak.
Yeah, but otherwise, even though, so the idea was to own about 10%, and again, just utilizing those rev share deals, right? And just kind of be able to pad your stats. But what we've seen, even ask Las Vegas how private equity is going for them right now. They can say nothing's wrong. You can see all the people walking, but you can see the animals leaving Yellowstone too.
So let me ask this. In the video, the part 2, because I didn't know there was a part 1. Let me reiterate that, right? But after watching part 2, this part 2 was so good, at least as far as I got, that I'm like, man, I don't even want to see part 1. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, this needs to be a Law and Order episode. This is great.
Exactly. Part 2 got 1, 2, and I'm waiting for the third one. You know what I'm saying? Denzel, well, Equalizer. But anywho, the NFL Management Council is comprised of whom? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, right. And again, that's where it's mainly Roger Goodell is your figurehead of that. That's who he's
not the only one though.
Correct.
But it's not at the same time, it's not owners, or it does make up some owners, but not all the owners.
Yeah. So again, it would be the league's lawyers and labor specialists. So that's where, again, that's what I mean about it's
okay.
When I say, yes, they own the team, but remember, you called it, I'm saying you, not anybody else. You called it a toy, and it is.
Yeah. Because
so think about it, right? If the toy needs maintenance, right? No, let's just use NASCAR or something like what? Okay, we'll go with Mr. Hendrick is not working on the cars.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
Years he's got, right? The NFL naturally is no different. So with this particular group, right, you want the specialist to specialize.
Right.
And that's who we're referring to in this case when it comes to the general counsel or just the VP of labor relations at the NFL.
Bruh, because that's what that brings me to my next question or point here. Like, so, and I'm asking it as a question, but it really feels like it should be a statement. Like, did the council outright lie to the arbitrator?
No, because all they did was play a recording.
Oh, okay. Wow.
They got to ask him. Did he lie?
Oh.
In which, of course, he's going to be like, no. Then naturally, well, why did you say it then? And it's like, oh, I don't know. But I'm gonna pump the brakes right there. I think it was on purpose.
Wait, holy man, slow down, slow down. Put the chickens back, man.
When you go book smart plus street smart,
hold up,
a very dangerous individual.
Hold up.
So,
what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I think he did it on purpose. I think he said it on purpose because he wanted to prove he's a good old boy.
Being Treader?
Yes. Because guess what? Hey, The running backs want something now. Uh-oh. Well, wait a minute. I can help you with that. Here,
You
let me
talking about
just
dry
say something
snitches is what you getting at?
Absolutely. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. Look, if I were to paint this out for you, here's how I believe it went down. He said, I'll take care of this problem so you don't have a quarterback-like issue with running backs. So I'll say something that gives you guys the leverage, which is that council, right? Now, in return,
but you're the union rep.
Wait. That doesn't matter. Because here's where he was also a part of the Carlisle group that he somehow was affiliated with, and that's where Lloyd came from. And
yeah, we get into that. We get into that.
But what I'm saying is, this is why it's a domino that is falling. This is all hypothetical, people. But I am saying,
it's hypothetical in speech, but in actuality, it's stuff there.
I don't think it was done by accident.
But to say that, it's not frivolous, is my point. Because it's enough, like Florio said, he said, it's enough evidence, even though it's circumstantial. See, you know how we do here. Your word choice is critical when it comes to conveyance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how it's received. You know what I mean? Interpreted. He said, according to Florio, the evidence is circumstantial. So I'm asking, can a concrete case actually be made if indeed the former, obviously the evidence being circumstantial, is true? But Florio also said there's enough there that, this ain't nothing that you're going to sneeze at. So is the evidence really circumstantial is my question.
Yeah, well, for me, if the basis of a case against the two, if I wanted to just leave it there, would be that Treader and Lloyd. I'm better yet. Let me not throw last names out there. I'll just say JC and Lloyd did not challenge the ownership strongly enough after the Watson deal, just from that side of things. And then to go into part two, I believe that Lloyd was a plant the same way that JC was getting paid from Lloyd's secondary.
Booz Allen.
No, not anymore. He was with the Carlisle group.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, but they knew each other since Booz Allen.
Sure. So again, JC and Lloyd have skin in the game because they're a part of the Carlisle group. If they can get the Carlisle group to get 10%, that would, in theory, somewhere in between the lines there, they would have probably said, look, okay, let me ask you this. If I said I can make you $1 million with this water bottle, if you give me the water bottle, are you cool with that? Will you give me 25% of it if I make you $1 million? If I get you $1 million deal?
Yeah, especially if you can show me that I'm going to get that $1 million.
Yeah, so good business tactics from a sales vantage point would say, most people are inclined to absolutely say yes to a figure when they currently don't have it.
Exactly.
Right?
Human nature.
If I were those two individuals, I would say, look, broader business partners of said group, if we can get into the NFL and get 10% of a franchise, we want 1% of it. Is that cool? Because otherwise you guys can't, there's no other way in right now. They've already told you no X, Y, and Z times. Now, what are they going to say, right? Human nature says, sure, if you can get us in there,
absolutely,
we'll do it.
Because we've been trying to get in. You know what I'm trying to say anyway. And so, you can get us in.
How do you do so without it being clear and obvious that you were intentionally trying to hook up your homeboy to get in there while you're backdooring the players?
Yeah, because I'm wondering, man, why wouldn't the NFLPA want its own players to know that the salaries, veterans in particular, were being negotiated and they wasn't at the table? That's what I'm trying to say, man. Listen, what I just said or what I just read, you can call it hypothetical if you want to. That actually happened. That's what I'm trying to say. There's nothing circumstantial. If you want to eliminate every piece of everything you done watch between these two episodes, if you would, you can't eliminate that. There's actual evidence meeting notes and times or whatever it is. Somebody was taking dictation and all of whatever. Somebody was doing something listen here. Somebody was negotiating something, and the folks whose behalf they were negotiating on wasn't in the room. But that's up and up. But then the NFL uses things like uses word like integrity and end racism and end zones and all. Man, listen, get rid of all of that. Get rid of all of that and just tell folks on the up and up like they do in wrestling. Look here,
This is the finish.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Come on, man. I don't understand that. Gully, maybe you can help me out. Why wouldn't the NFLPA want its own players to know that their salaries? Now we talking about the monies. Now y'all messing with the monies. Veterans in particular, right? And there's more veterans than it is rookies, I'm sure, right? I ain't did an actual count, but why in particular? Why that their salaries were being negotiated and they wasn't in the room? You tell me.
We have with you.
You went out for a second, man. You went out. Start over. Nope, you gone. I ain't got you. Got you. Whatever you saying, we didn't hear the first part of that.
Okay, it's the fact that the means by which you have this information. What else were you talking about that you don't want people to know about? Because if you got this by this means, it's kind of like similar to that big lawsuit between one big name rapper and the other big name rapper. In the middle of their beef, Double J, you might know. I was trying to be coy with it, but Drake, Drake and Kendrick, and the lawsuit about UMG, and how the contentions from Drake and Drake's camp is that they inflated the popularity of certain songs to discredit his character. That also, which had the end goal of devaluating my brand, has been negotiated. And for most people in common, they like, well, I think Drake is on to something, because the reason why he's on to something, and he knows the machine behind how it happened to him, is because that machine once upon a time worked for him. So
correct.
So similar.
Yeah, to your point, Gully, this is how we're going to base the foundation of the theory, right? JC's role is that as the outgoing NFLPA president, he had major influence over the search committee that selected Lloyd Howell. Okay?
Of course.
Right?
So if this basically was a you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
This guy, right? Okay. The process obviously was already heavily criticized for being kind of, just for how it was ran, with most players blindsided by the corporate background, which is, to your point, Barbershop J. Treader was publicly quiet during that time. Surprise, surprise, right? Don't look at me. Don't look at me. No player vote or grassroots push. See, I hate when people think they're smarter than they are. Anyway, and so then we go back to the corporate ties, not family ties, corporate ties. Obviously, like you mentioned, a partner at Booz Allen, a government contractor and defense consulting firm. Then Booz Allen had a long-standing relationship with who? The Carlyle Group. Oh, imagine that.
Oh, imagine
which
that.
had direct investments in sports such as European soccer as well as NASCAR. And of course, he, being Howell, had no prior labor leadership experience, which is a red flag if you were hiring anyone to lead 1,800 professional athletes. Then, of course, Carlisle's attempted entry into the NFL. In 2022-2023, multiple sources reported that private equity firms, including the Carlyle Group, explored paths to own minority shares of NFL franchises, something that the NFL began to slowly warm up to. That's weird. They took a real hard no, and now they're like, well, maybe. I wonder who.
But why do you think that was the case, though? Is the NFL losing money according to NFL standards then? if the NFL was first of all saying a hard no, and now they warming up to the idea what's going on their
Well,
end.
because there were some text messages that were revealed that indicated that Lloyd, who was not supposed to be having conversations about that, was having conversations about that with owners. Oh, imagine that. Okay. So again, NFL rules historically blocked institutional ownership, but they loosened it in 2023 to allow institutional capital up to 30% of a team non-controlling. And that's why I said that they were discussing 10% with non-voting, naturally non-controlling at that point. Now, I'm going to bring up Demo Smith one more time. He had an ownership proposal in 2023. Before he stepped down, he publicly floated the idea of a player equity ownership model, meaning the players would get a piece of it.
So the players now would be the players would be to the NFL what the Green Bay Packers are to the and fans are to the Green Bay Packers, if that make any sense.
What they believe they are, yes. And
yeah,
so,
well, yeah, they own the team, right?
What they believe they are.
Yeah, right.
So,
yeah. Okay.
And so again, the equity ownership model suggesting the NFLPA could work with private equity firms to buy a part of the team for the players.
But you know what, though? That's really not a bad idea. Because if you think about it, if I'm a player in the NFL and I know I got a piece and a portion of an entity that's going that residuals kind of like going to keep coming in for some years down the line, even after I retire, then on the front side with my contract, I'm still want to get paid, but I ain't mad. I ain't asking for 400 million, 3,000, 100,000 million, because I know I got some sort of like Allen Iverson type, Bobby Bonilla type deal. I got some money coming down the road.
Familiar with employee-owned and any employee-owned entities out there?
Employee-owned
credit unions.
Such.
So a lot of them, after a certain number of years, are vested, and at that point, they're pretty much, they're taken care of from, when they hit that 20 years and stuff like that, when they go to retire. Yeah. So essentially, that model would have fit, and it would have been done very similar at a minority stake. And it would have been naturally in the best interest, of course, for the NFL for reasons like Deshaun Watson.
And naturally in the best interest of DeMar Smith, because that was the one wholesome thing he probably said the whole time he was repping the PA, the players.
Well, but here's the thing. The idea disappeared after Lloyd got involved.
Of course, because that don't work for Lloyd. Well, Lloyd trying to pad his pockets. You know what I'm trying to say? No, listen, Lloyd, if it's $100 over there, I want all the 100.
So
you know what I'm saying? Why should I pay the workers?
So from to speculate, we could suggest the plan was absorbed and redirected, not for the players, but for the insiders.
Of course.
So connecting to the dots.
Hold on. So that's why I said, this is basically you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. How else did you explain Treader, Lloyd, and Booz Allen and Carlisle, that whole connection? Come on, man. You look out for me, I look out for you, but And
we would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't
for the meddling kids. The meddling kids. Yeah, put that on a t-shirt, underdog. Yeah, come on, man. Come on, it's ridiculous, man. Okay, so I'll say keep going. Wow. Hey, I'm just let me caution y'all. If you have not seen the part 2, Florio, Pablo, listen. Hey, don't be a no-show. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Keep going, Double J.
Right. So again, connecting the dots of the alleged plan, Treader helps install Howell as the NFLPA executive director. Who benefits? Howell gains power. Treader retains the influence. Then step 2, Howell backs off the public pressure on guaranteed contracts and player equity. Who benefits? The owners benefit, of course, and private equity opportunity kept quiet. Then we go step 3 here. Carlisle or a similar firm quietly negotiates for 10 to 15% of a team via Lloyd as the mediator, and the NFL opens the private equity door. Carlisle creates a sub-vehicle or a shell for advisors or strategic partners. Wink, slice carved for insiders. Who would have been deemed an insider? Probably 2 names that have already been mentioned.
Hey, I wonder who on the NFL side knew about this.
I would go as far as to say probably all of them.
gonna
Whoever
say-
homie was talking to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Carlisle, yeah, ain't nobody exempt, especially Jerry Jones. He probably was the first one in the room. Like, yeah, rubbing his hands
So-
together like a Cheshire cat.
So
Hey, because
then-
listen, at the end of the day, even if you go back to part one of this, and now mind you, let me remind folks, I did not see part one, but all the discussion about surrounding part one, it's a significant period between what was it, June of 2023 to like July of 2023. It went from cold to hot, like I'm talking about like night and day. Like, whoa, what happened? Well, whoa, in 30 days, it went from this to that. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, then Kimosabi. I mean, you know. And then, of course, Treader resigned. I just saw that.
Yeah, we're getting there. So again,
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm jumping the gun.
Yep. Step 5 of connecting those dots is Treader and or Howell quietly receive equity and or options via the consulting role, advisory board, and indirect capital routing. So I would have already showed you how they would have got paid and stayed getting paid for the foreseeable future in perpetuity. So it could have been comprised or presented as an ethics complaint to the NFLPA membership, certainly an investigative journalism pitch for Pablo Torre, and we would just have to find any kind of maybe whistleblowers or, which there was already some probable cause there, but again, so if I were somebody that was a little bit more gung-ho in a public office, then maybe I would probably take it on if I were them, based on what I just laid out.
What do the players do at this point, though? You have to appoint somebody from within. I have yet to have any experience.
Well, that was supposed to be Trotter. They thought they did.
Yeah, well, I'm talking. Well,
and see, and they
but
thought
you know
they
what,
did,
you guys,
and they figured his business background and acumen would have lent them to somebody that could understand when they try to talk language that may be unfamiliar. So you figure with his, so they tried it, and they figured they get a person with a certain face. All right, let's say what it is. They get a person with a certain face, and he speaks on that language, speaks at that level, but he's down here in the trenches, literally with us. He's a center for the Cleveland Browns. Like he's, you know what I'm saying? So what else would you? I mean, if you're looking for if you had to have an archetype
who
or a
else
prototype,
can you turn to at this point?
Right?
Well, okay, so I got an answer for that. You guys, let me know.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah. Wait, you got to answer for who should the players turn to now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
So right away, thankfully, we had a peaceful resignation, right, in the last handful of days. Isn't that convenient, right?
Mm-hmm.
Them coals must be
you got you got to do a KD and Brown. You got to get going while the going gets tough.
So naturally, because there is a no trust or no confidence, right? You don't have to necessarily take the union back by voting and in no confidence for him anymore, and have to do the whole emergency meeting and all that stuff. So we can skip that step. Instead, here's what I would be suggesting, which is I want an independent coalition of star players. Give me those 4 quarterbacks and let's form a group of actually even more than that, probably close to 15 to 30 high profile players. And let's do a players equity council. Keyword equity.
Hey, but you know what though? There's evidence of that, something similar to that being done before. After our next break, it's in Bernie Kosar and Joe Montana and them did it back in the 80s. Yes, in Bernie's book, he talked about
you better find it. Yeah,
learning to scramble, and that's when we go to our next break at the 1 minute mark. I'm gonna see. Dag nabbit, if I'd have known we was gonna go down this road, I would have already had it up here and ready to go. But I'm gonna see what I can do to find it. Okay,
I would like to know that. Yeah, because this was. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Wow, man. Hey, man. Hey, it's a boy. There's somebody that opened up a can. That's all I'm saying.
But this is why I'm saying if I'm correct, right? If there's merit to what I've laid out, then right away the NFL, to me, to your point, or your original question way earlier in the show, which is this just going to go and get swept under the rug like everything else has?
Right.
No, because this is so devastating, because this previously has never been able to be proven. But now when you do that collectively to both, it says, no, we could hold out as a league, right? It is a players ran league.
Yeah.
We could do a labor dispute right now and say everything is null and void because the volume of collusion that's occurred, and you now have enough on record to say that somebody might actually agree with them. So you take all of that and say, well, we clearly need to be working together on this. And the only way that can be done, or is even remotely possible, is if we both have skin in the game.
Hold that thought. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to finish up part 2, and I'm going to see if I can find where Bernie said it in his book, Learning to Scramble. I think that's the title of it. All right.
It's Kate Cunningham, and you watching the Shop Report. I'm Harvey Diallo, and you watching the Shop Report. My name's Chris Murray, and you're watching the Shop Report. Oh, you're Jay Knight, you're watching the Shop Report. Max McKee, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Hi, I'm Mars Network from Mercury Stadium, and you're watching the Shock Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doug Flynn of the New York Mets. Well, a few other teams, of course, too. And you're watching the Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? I'm Rajay Davis, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? This is Nelson Figueroa, former Major League pitcher with a lot of teams. You're about to listen to the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Howard Johnson. You're watching the Shop Report.
Hi, I'm Heath Bell from the New York Mets, and you're listening to the Shop Report podcast. Yeah!
Hey, I'm Josh Tolley, former catcher of the New York Mets, and you're watching the Shop Report.
This is Edgardo Alfonso for the Mets, and you're listening to Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doc Gooden, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Hello, this is Mike Hampton, and you're watching Shop Report.
Hey, this is Herman Harvey, former NFL offensive lineman with the Cleveland Browns and Baltimore Ravens, and you're listening to the Shop Report.
Hey, listen, I found the book, okay? But I cannot find in the book just exactly where Bernie mentioned this sort of equity group, if you would. Am I saying that right, Double J? Isn't that what you were just saying, right?
Correct.
This is the book, Learning to Scramble. Trust and believe you all want to pick this up, okay? Y'all don't need to see my face. Y'all want to pick this up. Bernie Kosar, Learning to Scramble. Go check it out. I'm telling you right now, you're going to find in this book, and then I'm just paraphrasing because I've had this book for so long now. The last time I read it, I think Abraham Lincoln, had put it up in front of the house. Anyway, but he mentioned how, due to the brutality of the NFL, and the difference between that and college, even though there was a brutality obviously in the sport period, he said, man, we needed to get together and they formed some sort of coalition. They did amongst the quarterbacks. He and Joe Montana were the first two to sit down and talk about it. And then I think it was like Gary Danielson and a few other ones they got on board. You looked it up?
Yeah, I tried finding it as best I could. Basically, they were, he was one of the first players to truly understand the business of football, particularly the financial strategy, debt, and ownership structures. And so the book itself, he reflects on how players often build the brand but never own the asset.
There you go.
And hints at how players, especially quarterbacks, could form investment vehicles to buy into franchises or media ventures.
Hey, hold that thought. Can I read something? Once I grabbed the book, I opened it up trying to find it, and I've been meaning to take this book and do us have shows and discuss certain excerpts and stuff from the book, and I just ran across one, and it's about concussions. I just wanted to read this right quick. What he said about concussions. He says, "Look, in the course of 12 pro seasons in the NFL and a Division I college career at the U, not to mention high school, I had more concussions than I can remember. Officially, I had 15 in the NFL, but it was probably more like 30. Then he goes on to say, I will have more to say about concussions later in the book. Hold on. For now, here's a little mind experiment to give you a sense. He's talking about the effect of a concussion. Here's a little mind experiment, to give you a sense about the effect of concussions. He said, don't try this at home, but imagine running backwards 20 feet as fast as you can and slamming your head into a wall. This approximates the impact of getting slammed to the ground by a blitzing linebacker. It is only an approximation, of course, because the NFL linebackers who hit you at top speed can run 20 feet forward far faster than you can run it backward. But you get the idea. You can wear a helmet for what that's worth. Do this several times a month for 6 months every year for 20 years. Then see if your speech is any clearer than mine. The speech problem, that's what he was talking about too, is also a consequence of never wearing a mouth guard. He said, mouth guards interfere with my play calling at the line, so I just didn't use them. As a result, I broke and lost most of my teeth, especially the back ones. And from time to time, I bit off pieces of my tongue. Whatever is left of it just doesn't work as well as a tongue is supposed to. In addition, I have cracked my jaw probably a half a dozen times. That's the nature of football. Then when a player get a contract, we talking about he ain't worth that, or best ability is availability, or he can't stay on the field. That's poppycock. I'm gonna say it like that and leave it out on that note. Go ahead, Double J, continue. My bad. I just wanted to read that right quick. You know what? Now that I done read that, we definitely, we're gonna have to put together some stuff about all the various books. Even Jerry Kramer, the famed offensive lineman for the Packers under Vince Lombardi, he wrote a book, Instant Replay. And boy, oh boy, there's some stuff in there. But anywho, go ahead. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to, trail off.
Yeah. So again, kind of some of the concepts he mentioned was athlete-led equity consortiums. So we floated the idea that, players or former players could band together to form equity groups using their name, brand value, and media visibility as part of the capital. And again, the ownership is leverage. So the true
prior to that, they thought like commodities. They thought as ownership sees them, even still to this day. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Correct. And I'm going to touch on that here at this point. He believed that true control and protection came not from contracts, but from sitting at the table as an owner, not just a hired gun. And so again, strategic partnerships was another, hinting at how former players with financial savvy could work with outside capital firms on equal footing. Insert Demo Smith's thing, and not as silent token investors, and even early player equity. So though not fully developed in the book itself, he acknowledges the NFL's refusal at the time to allow players with any ownership while active, but wondered if that could evolve.
So does that not correlate? Shout out to Bernie, baby. Once again, let me reiterate, this is why I read. I done had this book for years, and here we are years later, lo and behold. This is why I read, fellas. Go out and read. Start turning pages. It's a wealth of knowledge in them things right there, bro. That's all I'm trying to tell you. So Bernie was on to something, is what you're telling me, Double J.
Correct. Absolutely. And again, if the players wanted to do a Kozar version type today, they'd need to obviously form their own athlete-led investment group. So,
well, they might as well, and we can call it the Kozar rule.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
Then
we got the Modell law.
The interesting part, Barbershop Jay, is we could reach something like that. When we think of the jock tax and some of the things that Caleb Williams, to reinsert him back into the equation, was looking to save on, and I gave that buying a plane example. What you could see is the way that other individuals don't, or pay into a union. You could also be paying to, again, get into that ownership group. Or
absolutely, I'd rather have an ownership group.
Right.
Because
So
at this point, if you paying into the union, I'm wondering if I'm a paying member, like, what am I getting my money's worth?
and
Or
so
otherwise, or am I getting got?
then, of course, you target minority shares in the franchises that are open to it. Then, of course, negotiate active seats or governance rights, and not just passive returns, and avoid being kind of passive tokens in deals led by firms like Carlyle.
Give me two franchises in your estimation, or off the top of your head.
I think the Green Bay Packers would be the easiest.
No, I'm saying give me two that wouldn't be down with this.
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that too.
And I don't think the Fords would do it either.
Who?
I don't think the Fords would do it.
The Lions.
Yeah, the Ford Firestones. Sound familiar? See how they married into the tire people?
I don't think the Browns would do it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that.
What you mean?
You said they wouldn't be interested in this.
They ain't gonna want the Browns ain't gonna be interested in no players having no part ownership, bruh. You get out here and run this field, boy.
Well, what? Yeah, what?
You know what I'm
man, oh man,
hey, listen, hey, listen. My bad, my fault. I had a flashback. My bad. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they just come to the forefront. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't personnel. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, bro. Yeah, you get. Yeah. I mean, hey, listen. Who was the lady that told LeBron to shut up and dribble?
Laura Ingram.
Okay, well, you're fancy. You know that name. Lord have mercy. My gosh. Let me tell you.
Real quick,
why she don't have. Listen, once upon a time, I drank red Kool-Aid, bro.
You still drink red Kool-Aid? What you talking about?
No.
Yeah, that's why you ain't
Kool-Aid
showing.
at all.
That's why you ain't. Oh, please. That's why you ain't showing up on this camera.
I don't
right
drink
now.
Kool-Aid at all. No,
Just drinking
seriously.
some now. It's all
I
over
used
your
to drink.
lips.
I used to drink red Kool-Aid. Then I used to drink blue.
Yeah.
But now I drink grape juice with no sugar and try to get the best of it.
I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her. Yeah, we get all of that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wish. Yeah. You wish upon a star. Hey, and let me tell you something right quick. Side note. When I call your phone off air, don't be singing in my ear. You hear what I'm saying, Gully?
Hey, Double J. Hey, man, what we going to talk about on the shop report?
I'm putting you on blast right now. Hey, Double J, I called it up there. I was like, hey, man, I got something to tell you. And how can I be sure? I'm like, man, what happened?
Wait, JG Wentworth, you?
Yeah, JG Wentworth. Yeah, you almost had it. You should have been faster than that. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead, man. What was you saying, Gully?
I forgot. It doesn't matter anymore.
Well, then my work here is done. My work here is done. Yeah, man. Oh boy. But at the end of the day, okay. So, I mean, I just really want to know at this point, man. All of this obviously is unprecedented, right? And we know that there has to be a change. Okay. But Double J, do you think what you just suggested will be the thing going forward? You know, this will be a normal thing now, a par for the course.
Which portion?
I'm saying players, what DeMaurice Smith suggested on his way out, and what we just mentioned, Bernie talking in his book. Players are the players going in this next deal or some type of next move? Are they going to say, hey, listen, we want a stake in the teams?
Well, yeah, I would do that now. I would use the public pressure and the leverage, you know, in the revenue power as leverage.
Do you think that's going to happen, though?
It should. It should, and this is where it depends how many Benedict Arnolds you have within the league itself.
Yeah, well, that's the...
And I hate to go back to the era that you were talking about, but you could separate, you know what I'm saying, if you wanted to go there.
What did I say? You know, I don't remember nothing.
Well, Gully, do you want to try to? Are you following where I'm going here?
No, he probably ain't. Let's see. Are you following, Gully?
I'm following, but you ain't following, so don't even worry about it.
Okay,
I try a new direction.
All right, that's fine. If I ain't, hey, listen, I don't deny my senility. I don't. Okay, I embrace mine. You, on the other hand, anyway, what was you saying, bro? Go ahead.
So you could at least threaten, or some kind of litigation. And again, we've already had some leaders resign. But now, because there's proof via those leaked documents, again, in reference to just part one as well, to make sure we're having all of it inclusive here.
But I can't get away from that conversation with Bidwell. With Bidwell and Spanos. That was going back to the Deshaun thing. It was Bidwell basically said, like, bruh, that Deshaun deal. I was like, whoa, okay. Imagine that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and again, so to your point, if you're a player of that team right now, how do you feel? You're if you're Kyler Murray, you signed your name on the line.
Yeah.
Remember, there are people involved and feelings involved too. You're never supposed to act on emotion, but in this case, that's going to, the culture of your franchise is now certainly in question, and you can't have any grief counselors there. That ain't gonna do no good.
Yeah, but no, you're right. Okay, I'm with you on the emotion thing, but yeah, I'm gonna feel some type of way if I find out.
If you were Russell Wilson, if you're Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, you're calling your agent and asking questions. You're probably looking at anybody in the front office a little bit sideways, because
you
now
have to be.
It was bigger than you messed with my money, and you did it to prove a bigger point. It had nothing to do with what I had done on the field or had not done. You were trying to set a precedent.
I thought I had a picture of the second email or whatever it is. I don't like this phone.
I can probably grab it.
Yeah, remember I said I wanted to show the first one, then there was another one that they had highlighted in yellow. I thought I had saved it. But no, listen.
You want the yellow one?
Well, it was two yellow ones. The second, not the
congratulations on Murray.
Yeah, the Kyler Murray one. But the thing is, it's almost like darn it, and I just lost my thought.
So again, I'm going to preface this image was attained via the Pablo Torre show. Those images were given to him by means that he could share. Go ask him, not us.
Yeah. Okay. This is it here. Yeah. Dean Spanos, congratulations on signing Murray. MB, thanks, Dino. These quarterback deals are expensive, but we limited the fully guaranteed money and have some pretty good language. Thankfully, we have a quarterback that's worth paying. Wow. Okay. DS, your deal helps us for our, exactly right. Your deal helps us for our next for our quarterback next year. I think many teams will be happy with it once they have a chance to review. Cleveland really screwed things up, but I was resolved to keep the guaranteed relatively low.
So, look, if you're Jimmy and D has them, you feel a type of way.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You should, because remember, they personally are the ones who organized. They were involved in that deal. If you remember, go way back.
Yeah, they sure were. They had to be. They had to kind of come out front more so than they had been because of all of the stuff that he had been doing, or the cases or whatever the case may be. Even D spoke out a couple of times, and I hadn't heard from her ever since they owned the team, so to speak.
Yeah. So look how many people caught strays in that.
Yeah.
You're telling me right now you're going to walk into work tomorrow? Like if they just said, well, Barbershop Jay, they really screwed that up. And Gully, it was your deal that you signed that they're praising about how they screwed you out of half your money.
And too many people in power, regardless of the level, have a false sense of entitlement, power tripping. Even at our level where I'm at, I'm on the clock. My start time is 9 p.m. Here it's 2:34 in the morning, right? I get off at 5 something or whatever, right? Happened to talk to a supervisor about something, and they supervisor said, "Hey, do you know you're missing 2 hours?" I was like, "What?" Yeah, another supervisor that don't really care for me for whatever reason went into the system and AWOL'd me while I've been in the building for 5 or 6 hours already and took 2 hours of time from me. Had had I not been dealing with another supervisor in another matter, and they you know, because they all got access to the same network or whatever, you know, they can see all your time, you know, all that type of stuff. I said, what? They said, yeah, you know, you got to. So that's what this is. If I'm a player, I'm looking like, what? I put you, how you messing with my money? And I didn't do anything for you to mess with my money. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no on the field 15-yard penalty or something like that, and I'm, you know, worthy or a fine justifiable. You messing with my money just because you messing with my money. Oh, nah, bro. Nah. Oh my, we can get this done. George Patton feels very good about it for us as a franchise, and the benchmark is set versus Watson for the rest of the league. Uh-oh. What we got there then, huh? Oh man, yeah, we got documentation, baby.
I mean, they already let you know both in written form and how they handled Russell Wilson by asking him to leave, how they really felt about him. So,
of course, but they also tried to paint him as a malcontent and all of that to a degree on his exodus. That's what I say, man. Listen.
So does that affect? Do you see the thing about this too is when we talk about? I brought up a few moments ago the Drake versus UMG lawsuit that had a lot to do with Drake's personal beef with Kendrick Lamar and how it played out in the public.
Right.
Do you think, and I think I'm asking an obvious question, franchises, knowing that these are owners that own these teams and have millions of dollars invested over a long-term process, do you think that they actually say, you know what, we could take a couple games here. Let's run this play call. Let's run this strategy because we know that this guy who's trying to get some money, he had some difficulty with this type of offensive set. He had this type of disagreement when we see in these packages here. Well, let's run this anyway because we kind of know that he's going to have some difficulty. And when he does have difficulty that we know he's going to have because it's atypical against a winning franchise, but we really need to make sure that we make a point here. Let's run this offense. Let's run this play. Let's make this coaching change. Let's get rid of this receiver or let's get rid of this linebackers coach who's had us. You get what you see how the gears could work.
Yeah, I do. Now the Browns again come to mind last season. Is that what you're driving at? Like, because I couldn't understand why they fired Bill Callahan, why they let him lead the building, Stump Mitchell, and a whole bunch of how do you get rid of everybody and the players underneath them respective coaches had some of their best seasons, but it's a mass act. You cleaning house?
Yeah, you clean house behind it or with the franchise with management that helped sustain you when your head coach was out. Like, I thought that's what you wanted, continuity.
Yeah, exactly.
The ability to keep being productive
instead of constant change.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you bring in a guy who got fired from doing the job just to do the job for a year and got fired anyway. He was Hey, listen, what did Denny Green say? They were who we thought they were.
Yeah. You talking about, well, I mean, but listen, you talking about Ken Dorsey.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, I don't know the man personally, so I couldn't speak to that. But as a former Miami Hurricane, a staunch one, that is, I can tell you, and I'll say it again, and I'm going to keep saying, the only two quarterbacks to come out of the University of Miami that was worth their salt was Bernie Kosar and Jim Kelly. All the rest of them was the beneficiaries of the superior talent around them, for real.
Even Vinny Testaverde?
Yeah, blind Verdi. Colorblind. He was like... Listen, Vinny Testaverde was the Browns to the Browns back then what Jameis Winston is now. You know what I'm saying? You know, as long with Jameis in the game, you know he's gonna keep everybody in the game. I'm just saying. You knew when Vinny was out there, him and Leroy Horde. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Don't get me started, bro. Don't get me started. That was I see what I caught you there. Yeah, okay. You are boy. Yeah, you had me on the clickbait. You had me getting ready to go down clickbait road. Yeah, Leroy Horde. Oh, fumbleitis bum garbage. Man, don't do that, bro.
Well,
Don't do that.
again, I kind of steer this back in the right direction. The parallel here with Drake and CMG is obviously about the record label structure, or UMG, sorry. And again, about the structure itself.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, man. I don't know. If I'm the players, though, we having the players only meeting. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, we having the players.
But can we? And we checking for mics. We checking for microphones.
No. I'm going to say this. Not forget a players meeting.
Yeah.
If we really want to take it there, I already have what could be done.
Okay, well, what could be done?
Which is, again, what I would do, at least. Well, I would suggest that this is deep enough that there is no trust uniformly across the board.
Oh, I can tell you that. Even after part one, it wasn't no trust.
So again, what I suggested was, yes, you could launch a labor transparency campaign after you have this independent coalition of star players. If you wanted to do it that way, then you have your filing of your ethics complaint or suit, and then you coordinate the mass walkout or boycott at that point. And then you begin to demand the equity or revenue share floor. So again, that's where there's equity linked bonuses or player investment trust, something along those lines. And then from an extreme option, I would also suggest at this point doing a breakaway union, which means you decertify the NFLPA via player vote now. Form a new independent labor association, possibly ran by retired players and financial experts.
Oh, yes. That's okay. All right. Oh, hey, listen,
they did this similarly in 2011.
Did you call the NFL office and suggest this?
No, because I watched it happen when I was involved with the league. That's why it was.
Oh.
It was.
I mean, I'm not the NFL office. I'm talking about the player. Call somebody. This should be the next thing on the timeline. I don't hear no talk about nothing like that. I haven't heard any. What you suggested, I have not yet heard.
So again, led by the top 50 players, it would force both the NFL and the PA to the table immediately.
Now, if there's any time lapse between what you're saying should be done and it's not done, what does that say?
Well, no. What I'm suggesting now, and why the now, is because of time, right? At the end of this month, we have football supposed to be starting again.
Okay, so what you're suggesting should be done when? Now, right now, like within the next week or 2 days or so. But what if it doesn't? What if they try to pass this off?
They're going to desperately try to say this isn't a big deal. Please don't do anything, or we'll give you an extra %. But whatever you do, let the show go on. No, you take the show away. You say there is no show without us, or go do what they did in the 70s with the guy from prison that was running the Washington offense better than they were.
Yeah, but will they do it? Because that's how them guys who can afford NFL teams and soccer teams simultaneously and $25 million mansions. That's how you hurt them.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Everybody's supposed to be doing fantasy drafts over the next 4 weeks. We're supposed to be talking about it.
It's a big
after dark. If they do that, back in the next.
Yeah, we're supposed to have one ourselves, right?
That's right.
Who's we? We ain't French. Oh man, please. Who is doo? Don't start that. Don't start that, because I'm wearing brown.
Hello, hola.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying. Yeah. So, man, listen, it's a ripple effect, financial ripple effect. Hey, man, throw a stone in the creek. Boy,
or drop one from the bridge.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Gadoosh. Oh man. Yeah. Well, I don't know, but are they gonna do it, man? It's a heck of a suggestion, but are they gonna do it? What would indicate to you so far at this point on the timeline that would be done? That would be the next move. What are you seeing?
Well,
to see or hear their response to this here, to see where this goes in terms of discussions and other other discussions or other stories or whatnot, or what you got up on the screen.
Yeah, Double J. Yeah, give me some highlight me. There we go. 2 years ago, I accepted the role of executive director of the NFLPA because I believe deeply in the mission of this union and the power of collective action to drive positive change for the players of America's most popular sport. Well, he lying like a rug right there, apparently, right? You know what I'm saying? Flowery rhetoric is what that is. Our members deserve a union that will fight relentlessly for their health, safety, financial futures, and long-term well-being. Oh, he really putting sauce on it. My priority has been to lead that fight by by serving this union with focus and dedication. It's clear that my leadership has become a distraction. Yeah, I mean, where's Coldplay when you need them? I'm just saying. It's clear that my leadership has become a distraction to the important work of the NFLPA advances every day. Scroll up for me, Double J. A little bit. All right, right there. For this reason, I have informed the NFLPA Executive Committee that I am stepping down as Executive Director of the NFLPA and Chairman of the Board of NFL Players effective immediately. I hope this will allow the NFLPA to maintain its focus on its player members ahead of the upcoming season. I am proud of what we have been able to accomplish. What did you accomplish at the NFLPA over the past 2 years? I will be rooting for the whoa. I wasn't done reading there, brother.
Well, no, you asked what did he accomplish right here.
Oh, okay, got you. All right. Well, I wish you would warn me. This is what okay, yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like by now. NFL Players Association Executive Director Lloyd Howell Jr. is working as a paid part-time consultant for the Carlyle Group. Yeah, right. One of a select group of league-approved private equity firms now seeking minority ownership in NFL franchises, ESPN has learned. Yeah. Okay. So, let me finish reading that statement.
Proud, all right.
I don't even want to finish reading the lie. We got a comment here. Mrs. Alba's weighing in. She said, he did not just make a Coldplay joke. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Oh, look at these two.
Yeah, exactly. Look at these two. Look at these three bumps.
Man, somebody's gonna have to do a meme. Oh, it's gonna be
look at these 3 bumps on the log. Better than said. Okay, so but Double J, that's not okay. So he's basically again with the flowery rhetoric surrounding his exodus. So now what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that was the first domino that had to go, right? So it saved a players only meeting, as you called it, to then go and say, we have no confidence in this guy steering this ship, so we need to get rid of him.
Okay.
He took that, he made that decision on his own for the best, because the longer that lingers, the worse it's going to get.
Exactly. It's no question. Yeah. Anything he said can and will be.
Cranberries? Did you have to let it linger?
What you say? Hey, hold on. Y'all talking nasty, man. Everybody, we talking about cranberry sauce and man, get up out of here, bro. Ain't nobody up out of here, man. Did you get some cranberries? Hey, listen. Hey, I don't know what that. And then Gully. Yeah, what was so funny? What type of joke was that? I ain't even get the joke. Okay, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna end things if that's the case. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Double J, give us the last portion of that. What's going to happen? This is the first domino. Okay. Next week, we're gonna see what on the timeline.
Well, what must occur now, okay, is 2 things. In the very short, immediate term, you could go right back to the arbiter, if you will.
Okay.
As I'm intentionally saying for the Halo fans. And have them reverse said decision, right? That prompted this.
Okay.
Additionally, you now have the leverage with the league and the owners for more than one reason, right? Because you had the gentleman who just left whispering in their ear, yin yang.
Uh-huh.
Or wait, was that David Banner? It was both, actually. Anyway,
because Lloyd is like the warden in Shawshank.
Correct.
Here's some of Mabel's fine pie.
And so now what needs to occur is either a private memo would go out to circulate amongst the star players to say, this is our time to get this thing going. And then we would need kind of an action timeline.
Yeah. Well, I just know, man, something definitely has got to be done, because the NFL, and for the first time and since their inception, we've seen instances here and there, but this is the first time, man, that the shield might actually have the crack in the shield, man.
There's more than a crack. This Harry Potter, they could feel, Voldemort.
Oh, okay. Oh, Voldy. Okay, then. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So again, what I would do over the next 4 weeks, quietly convene. If you're a top 25 player, basically, if you're a first or second round pick in this year's fantasy draft, we are not meeting. Get a private alignment and shared goals. Then let's go ahead and we'll publish a player's equity letter. We've seen this in the past with, actually, coincidentally, I'm bringing her up. It's football season. Taylor Swift. She did that to Apple at one point in time.
She won too, didn't she?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think she did.
And what that'll do is it'll get folks like us continuing to stay in the loop with what's going on. And for the countless hundreds of thousands of others that still don't know what's going on, they'll start to get clued in. Then let's go ahead and run a podcast or docuseries. You guys can come here if you'd like. Who really owns the league? And let's announce the formation of a players' ownership council. Not a union, just an influence group. So again, adding some additional legitimacy, and if certainly there would be a media firestorm at that point. Forget us at that stage. Now everybody's got, asking questions. And that's what you don't want if you're the NFL and good old Roger.
Yeah.
So then you start your soft protest campaign. So non-required media, we ain't doing that. Wear an own, not rent shirt. Or just borrow the ones from the WNBA.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, why not, right?
Weeks 5 through 10. Look, I got the whole manifesto if we want it. Refuse to participate in pregame promos. Hinting at a boycott if no equity talks, right? So now the sponsors and the ownership are going to somewhat panic internally. Drop exclusive sit-downs, i.e., to Gully's point, Drake style, with 5 players. We want in, not out. Now you got the personal fan bases railing around it. Leak the NFL conflict of interest doc.
And not anonymously. Because I'm telling you, I would want my name on that.
Now
if I'm the one can leak it, I'm put my name on it.
And then issue a formal demand. Players want 1% of all future franchise growth tied to CBA bonuses.
In perpetuity, baby.
Yep. And refuse to participate in Pro Bowl bowling or voting, and all pro nominations, that type of thing. So that way it doesn't undermine the award-based incentives.
What about Hall of Fame type stuff too? Would you?
Well, yeah, but you got to sit out that. You can't have played in the league and then I hate this guy because he, his whole career is made off of me.
Yeah.
So, if week 5 through 10, if we're still nowhere, sit out one national TV. Business flu.
Yeah, but will they have the oysters to do it?
They have the oysters. That's the tough part, man.
No marbles.
Yeah, none right here.
No marbles.
No Chinese checkers. No, none of that.
Gully remembers.
Yeah. Hey, well, listen, hold up. Just because I don't, you ain't gonna highlight the fact that he do. The hell.
That's definitive haterism right there.
Okay,
That
well,
is a hater. That is a definitive hater.
Well, you should know what definitive haterism is because you wrote the book on it.
Put that on a shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Put that on the shirt. If you got room
Definitive
for his first name, his last
haterism.
name, and his doggone surname. Yeah, right. Yeah, ain't that nothing? Oh, Paul Revere over here. Ain't seen nobody on no. Listen here, Larry Graham. You off to your next concert? You should be. Yeah, don't mess with me, bro. I ain't got time for it. All right. So at the end of the day, we will keep you all abreast of this story as it develops because I've got to go back and watch the rest of Pablo and Florio. You know, I'm getting about sick of them, dog. I'm a sick boy. Yeah. Anyway, as a reminder, of course, as we didn't say earlier in the P program, because it's not our normal show and our normal rotation, we do want to remind folks that the Shop Report is brought to you by Rocket Digital Media. It's the one-stop shop for all your digital marketing needs. You can look them up on Facebook at RDM Detroit, or you can slide on up to the website, rocketdigital.net. That's ROCKIT digital.net. And make sure when you're there, while you're there, you tell them the BSJ sent you. And on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. Don't forget to check us out at every Thursday for now at 9:30 on the PM side. Or y'all can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the shop's fan page on Facebook, that is. And of course, YouTube. And please make sure when you're over at YouTube, and TikTok too. Okay. I mean, listen, I'm ancient. I don't know nothing about TikTok. Don't stop the body right. Yeah, I knew this. Yeah. Anyway, when you're over at the tube and anywhere. See, this is what I mean. So you know I'm not lying. Everything, I don't know what it is. Bro, I'm telling you, he always got to start singing, bro. Like, dag, man, listen, it's over. It's over. Listen, listen, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Okay, your days in the temptation has been numbered. All right, let it go. Let it go. For my dudes, Be Rich, Double J, D Gully, and all those who follow and support us, we say thank you. Oh, don't forget this Thursday we will be doing our regular show, and we come back Thursday. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what we're gonna talk about. Yeah, yes, I do.
We'll be here tomorrow at some point too, right, Gully? Where you at?
Yeah,
we'll be here tomorrow for the turnbuckle.
Oh yeah, please put on a belt buckle. Why don't you? Your pants is falling down.
Yeah,
I'm Barbershop Jay, and you've been listening. I'm Barbershop Jay, and you've been listening. What did you just say? You've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla!